So when I was growing up, my Christmas movies were like Charlie Brown's Christmas, A Christmas Story, Ernest Saves Christmas, and my personal favorite, The Santa Claus. For some reason, we were like a really big Tim Allen household, which is very weird in retrospect. Ow.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Like, yo, Christmas movies around Christmas time, bro. Christmas movies is like, yo, that's my shit. I ain't gonna lie, gang. Like, the most I used to watch movies, like, I don't watch movies too much now. But like back when I was watching movies and shows and shit for real, bro, like Christmas movies, I used to be on that. I ain't gonna lie. Every single day I'm watching mad Christmas movies, like over and over and over again. Like I don't care. Like I just love watching Christmas movies. I don't know why, bro.
But turns out the
They
two
just
most
feel so, like-
consistently
they like, I
chart-topping
don't
Christmas
know.
movies the last several years have been Grinch and Polar Express, two extreme opposites of the CG movie spectrum. Polar Express came out in 2004 and was a very loose
Bro,
interpretation of the
Yo, I don't know if y'all niggas is old enough to remember, bro, but like I remember like Polar Express times. Bro, Sister of the Ruin, that's a W. I just switched up what my setup was at. That's all. But yo, I remember like elementary school, like Polar, like you know what I'm saying, Christmas time around. We having movie day or whatever, getting us our food, our little nachos or whatever, stuff like that, little snacky snacks, little treats and stuff. Watching the Polar Express, like. The good days, man.
book
the
from
good old
1985.
days.
I say loose because the book itself
don't
is
do
like
that no
30
more.
pages long, and this movie's a little under 2 hours, so like they filled in a lot of gaps. Directed by Robert Zemeckis, who around this time had this absolutely bizarre obsession with trying to make hyper-realistic CG movies, which like even today is kind of impossible. You know, you got stuff like Lion King or like the new Mufasa movie or whatever. Like sure, they look kind of real, sorta, but also like who asked for this? You know, I mean, I for one hate Disney movies with whimsical character designs, but back in 2004, I mean, this dude was swinging for the fences. Now, I don't think I've watched this movie since it came out. So, for my last Christmas movie of 2024, what do you say we check out The Polar Express? But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Surfshark VPN is an app and browser extension that lets you change your 4 extra months added to your subscription. So, click my link and sign up today. Okay, back to the show.
On Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay
This look
quietly
bring back
in my bed.
memories, yo.
I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently.
Yo, first of all, who sleeps like this? I ain't gonna lie. Like, I've been trying to, like, fix my sleeping position or whatever. I can't sleep like this, yo. Like, the only way I could ever sleep like this is if I'm, like, OD tired and, like, I'm like, in that, like, position or whatever, and then I, like, fall asleep that way. Like, that's the only way I could go to sleep like this. Like, if I'm, like, all right, I'm finna go to sleep and I'm laying down and I'm trying to go to sleep, like, on my back, I can't do it, bro. Like, I just can't do it. I don't know, bro. Like, it don't feel comfortable to me, bro. I don't get how people sleep like that.
Okay, so fun fact, almost everyone in this movie is Tom Hanks. The main boy, Tom Hanks. The dad, Tom Hanks. Everyone. You yourself might be Tom Hanks right now. Anyway, so
Tom
this
Hanks
is
is
our
him,
main
though.
character, who's never
W.
named
Tom
in the
Hanks.
movie,
I
and
love
whose
Tom
soul has been
Hanks.
ripped from its flesh prison, I assume. Now, his one and only personality trait is that he doesn't think he believes in all this Santa Claus nonsense, okay? And he feels the need to, like, constantly remind himself of this.
Damn, look, bro, I got a whole shrine. Santa's on strike. Oh, yeah. Look, nah, that face is crazy.
What's his face you're making?
I don't
kid?
remember
Los
this part
Santos,
at
as in
all.
plural? Ha! No longer will I be a slave to society's lies. It's like when your parents suddenly give you a really early bedtime, and one day all of a sudden a little sister just pops right out, and you're like, well, I sure hope you're proud of yourself, Mom.
Okay. Yo, low-key, how long did it take y'all to, like, stop believing in Santa, bro? Like, I ain't gonna lie, it didn't take me really long at all. I think I was in, what? It was right before, it was, like, maybe, like, 4th grade, 5th grade, something like that. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how kids get to talking. Kids got to talking, And then I think one year, like, I found the gifts or whatever. And then I was like, yeah, it was raps from there. I ain't gonna lie. But damn, I don't know. I feel like it's mad people that like dead like believe in Santa for like a mad long time, and it took them. And I feel like it's niggas to this day that low-key still believe that shit. Like it's kind of crazy.
Stark, barren.
Why do I not remember this part at all?
Just like this movie. So it's Christmas Eve night, but our main character knows that Santa ain't coming. That is, until he hears a super loud noise outside his window. So he runs out to investigate, and you'll never guess what he sees there.
All aboard!
Now that I think about it, this movie kind of crazy. Like, low-key, if you sit down and think about it, right? They out here on Christmas Eve or whatever, riding around in this magic train, picking up kids randomly in the middle of the night to take them to the North Pole out of all places. Like that's a little. I don't know. Yo, I feel like a lot of times when we watch movies like this, as like kids or whatever, like we don't really question it. Even if we was to like go back and like look at it a little bit, we don't question it. But like I don't know, now I'm questioning it. I'm questioning it now. Like it's kind of it's a bit odd, isn't it? Like it's just a bit odd.
Oh yeah, the train conductor guy is also Tom Hanks, because of course he is.
Facts.
Well, you coming?
Where?
Why, to the North Pole, of course. This is the Polar Express.
Why are you yelling? One thing about this movie is that
That's too. Like he was yelling mad loud. Did nobody hit that nigga? And then for the parents, you didn't like hear your kid walk out the crib, like, oh, the door open or something like that, mad late at night. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, L parents.
every
low-key,
adult
bro.
is so
L
weird.
parents.
I don't know what it is about kids movies, but you go back to like Matilda or Willy Wonka or whatever,
Matilda
and it's
was
like there's just this
tough.
universal
I
kid
think that's the
experience
next one we watching.
of adults just being the weirdest dudes of all time. Anyway, so first the kid's like, oh no, I couldn't possibly. And then about 2 seconds later, he's like, okay, fine, and jumps on the train. Now this is where the movie takes a sharp turn into just straight up nightmare territory.
Oh my days, here she go. Everybody knows.
Wait, why
Bro.
are you sitting like this? Oh, hey there, new kid. You want to see how long it takes me to chew all my toenails off?
Bro, that is, yeah, she was bugging. W memes, though.
Hey, you, yeah, you. Do you know what kind of train this is?
Oh!
I used to hate this nigga.
No, stop! I
Bruh,
forgot
that
about
nigga's
this
so
kid.
stupid.
Who
That
is this
nigga's so
sleep
stupid,
paralysis
bro.
demon child? So this voice
Facts,
actor is the
bro.
same guy who was Mandark in Dexter's Lab. And super fun fact, he was arrested in 2022 for breaking into a nursing home. Celebrities, they're just like you.
Train, do you know what kind of
What?
train this
Yo.
is? Well, do ya?
It's a magic train. We're going to the North Pole.
Ah, I know it's a magic train. Actually, it's a Baldwin 284 S3 class Berkshire-type steam locomotive. Built in 1931 as the Baldwin locomotive works, it weighs
Bazinga.
Nigga, shut the fuck up.
1,100 pounds and has attractive
Are we
force
really
of
going to the North
8,450
Pole?
pounds.
Yeah, okay, kid, don't give me that DreamWorks face. Don't give me that Mean Girls 2 face. Also, you better hope this train's going to the North Pole, or else you just jumped on a random train like an idiot. He just like ends up in Detroit for no reason. And so begins the bizarre nightmare adventures of these children.
Boy, that guy sure likes to show off with his ticket punch. Look at that wise guy punched on my ticket. L.E. What the heck does that mean?
Stop 115.44. Edinburgh.
We're heading for the other side of the tracks.
And what exactly do you mean by that, Cthulhu nightmare child? So they pick up this like really poor kid with a medieval peasant haircut for some reason, and off they go. Now, pretty soon after the train gets going, the movie just punches us right in the face.
And how do they know who to pick up? Like, was they solely picking up kids that didn't believe? Which that couldn't be true because all of the other kids believe. So it's like, how did they like? What list did they get of little niggas to like believe, or like, you know what I'm saying? What list? Like, where did they get these niggas' address from? Like, was they just picking up random kids? Like, what? I ain't gonna lie. I got
It's
a
one
lot
of the most
questions now that
horrifying
I'm-
things
I'm
I've
thinking about
ever
it
seen.
properly, man. Yeah, that too, like it's magic tables, niggas doing backflips. Like,
What is happening?
Yeah,
This is like the
it was
kind of
low-key
dreams you
funny.
have when you eat Taco Bell right before bed, you know what I'm saying? I mean, just the deadest of dead faces on these guys. Actually, you know what this reminds me of? It's like when AI tries to make a video about gymnastics.
what the fuck?
What the?
Where did she go? Yo, nah.
Stop! What the?
You know, Montezuma, the king of the Aztecs, would drink 50 quarts of hot chocolate every day. It was thick as mud and red because he put chili pepper in it instead of sugar. Get it? Hot chocolate?
Now, something else about this movie that they do a lot.
We not finna fly past that shit this little nigga just said. He said he used to put chili in it instead of sugar.
Chocolate every day. It was thick as mud and red because he put chili pepper in it instead of sugar. Get it? Hot chocolate?
Now, something else.
What's up with this little nigga, yo? Like, what's up with him, yo?
It's about this movie that they do a lot is they really wanted to show off the 3D camera stuff they could do, because like at least half of this movie is stuff like this, where the main kid accidentally loses the girl's ticket, played by Tom Hanks, and it flies through the air in just the most absurdly drawn out, completely unnecessary sequence. You know what this movie feels like? It's like all of the really bad CG parts of Harry Potter Sorcerer's Stone, but
Fried fish inside. Thank you. Okay, let's go back.
dude, because like at least half of this movie is stuff like this, where the main kid accidentally loses the girl's ticket, played by Tom Hanks, and it flies through the air in just the most absurdly drawn out, completely unnecessary sequence. You know what this movie feels like? It's like all of the really bad CG parts of Harry Potter Sorcerer's Stone, but like that's just the entire movie.
You have lost your ticket.
She didn't lose her ticket. I did. You can have my ticket.
These tickets are not transferable.
You will just have to come along with me.
What's up, Taylor?
You know what's gonna happen now, don't you? He's
How
gonna
you
throw
doing,
her off
bro?
the train. Yeah, he's gonna probably throw her right off the rear platform.
That's another thing. So she lost her ticket. She, first of all, you was already on the train, right? Let's just get that straight. She's already been on the train a long time ago. Lost her ticket. Now you finna throw her off? Like, what? I never understood that. That kind of like blew my mind.
It's
a little
standard
bit.
procedure.
Yeah, you know, I don't think that's true, my dude. Could you imagine? No ticket. Now, our main character feels
But
really
yeah,
bad about
that's
losing the
weird.
girl's ticket and getting her sent to the gulag or whatever. So he goes after her by climbing on top of a moving train. There's gotta be an
Yeah,
easier way
this
of doing
also
this, kid.
was
But
just
while he's
like-
up there, he meets a very interesting fella, played by Tom Hanks.
Is there something I can do for you?
I'm looking for a girl.
A good...
Right. I would've just turned around, though.
Hey, would you like some Joe? Nice hot refreshment, perfect for a cold winter's night.
Yeah, it's pretty good, eh? It's my own original Jenkum moonshine. Yeah, if the cold don't kill you, this sure will. So they get to talking
that's
about
another
Santa
thing,
Claus,
like, they
as
just-
one does when you meet a strange
there's
man
a
who
lot of
looks like the
weird stuff going
0.1% of germs that soap doesn't kill. And the kid tells him that he wants to believe in Santa, but like, you know, kind of sus.
I want to believe.
But you don't want to be bamboozled. You don't want to be led down the primrose path. You don't want to be conned or duped. Have the wool pulled over your eyes. Hoodwinked. You don't want to be taken for a ride. Railroaded.
Why is this the most terrifying movie I've ever seen? And so, just out of nowhere, he puts out the fire and picks up his bindle, which is just full of, like, children's teeth and fingernails, I assume. And so he grabs the kid and puts on some skis and takes him all the way to the front of the train before it hits the upcoming tunnel.
There's only one trick to this, kid. When I say jump, you jump!
So, like, turns out this dude is, like, a ghost or something? So, like, did he die on this train? Or is this like a kid who got on and never got off again? This movie's really messed up if you think about it for like 5 seconds. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's
so
what I'm saying. Like, now that I'm thinking about all the little stuff, like, what the fuck was this movie? It's still a good movie. I'm still watching it or whatever. But like, if you really sit and think about it, this movie was crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
the front of the
Movie was mad
train is the
crazy.
girl from before.
You? I thought you got thrown off and you're driving a train?
They put me in charge.
Wait a second, you got in trouble for losing your ticket and they promoted you to train driver?
Yeah, that also was kind of odd to me. Like, she lost her ticket, so you threw her in the front to drive the train. Like, fuck it, like, huh? And I have no words.
The heck
Yeah,
kind of
bro.
operation is this? Approachably attractive people, giving you the news you already saw on the internet 8 hours ago. It's the local news. Tonight, 207 people have been turned into slush when a train smashed through their neighborhood, being driven by a child relying solely on her innocence and Christmas spirit. When reached for comment, Santa Claus said, "Get wrecked, nerds."
Stop the train! Stop the
They want us to stop the train.
Which one needed the brake?
He told me this was the brake.
Who?
The engineer.
The engineer?
Yes!
So the movie goes on like this for basically the whole time. It's just like one catastrophe after another. They have to avoid caribous. They slide on this like giant ice lake.
Ice
They ride a
thing.
roller coaster for some reason. All the other kids on the train
Yeah,
are
the
just
roller
piles of
coaster was
goo
kinda
splattered on the
crazy.
windows at this point, I assume. There is this one
And that's another thing. All that was happening. They didn't have no seatbelts, no nothing, no security. But it was good. It was like all fine. Like that's
part where
weird.
the poor kid sings a song on the back of the train. And like, I can't play the scene for you, obviously, because it's YouTube. But the lyrics go, I'm wishing on a star and trying to believe that even though it's far, he'll find me Christmas Eve. I guess that Santa's busy because he never comes around. I think of him when Christmas comes to town.
Okay, now listening to the lyrics, now like reading the lyrics, it sound like sound like some sort of some baby mom soaking her, sending a little love letter or something to her baby father or something like that. Like that's kind of
And like, why you gotta come out with a gut punch like this out of nowhere, Polar Express? I mean, the movie's full of demon children who look like they have jaundice. And then you slip in a scene like this? Who do you think you are? But finally, they get to the North Pole.
There should be elves. Where are the elves?
They are gathering in the center of the city. That is where Santa will give the first gift of Christmas.
Look!
Damn.
Oh, no, okay, I'm sorry. I
That boy
take
had
back
one
everything I
scene.
said about this kid. This is the most horrifying kid in this movie.
yeah. What's up with him?
What is this? What? How much melatonin did I take last night? This is definitely one of those kids in like 3rd grade who had like 4 sets of teeth growing out of their gums, you know what I mean? But then
Facts.
guess what? It's more shenanigans. Like the main kid, this girl, and then this other kid get stuck on the train car that slides all the way back into Santa's workshop, and they get like a little peek behind the scenes.
Yeah? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. I just finished the last one.
How's it wrapped?
It's wrapped in candy striped rag with a number 7 holly green bow.
When we're this close to liftoff, are they sugar now?
You know, I said this way back in my video about Santa Claus, but there's something profoundly strange about having like a Jewish Christmas elf from Brooklyn. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway, so they make their way through the factory. And then they get wrapped up in a giant sack of presents picked up by a Zeppelin, played by Tom Hanks, and put back in front of the Christmas tree.
Everything played by Tom Hanks.
You may start your descent any time now. At your convenience, of course.
It sounds like a fart. Anyway, so after all this nonsense, Santa Claus comes out like Hulk
Hey,
Hogan for some reason. And while all this is going on, the other kids are talking about how amazing the sleigh bells sound. The reindeer are jumping around and everyone's like, wow.
Oh yeah, and then for some reason he couldn't hear it because he didn't believe. I remember that. That's a little like,
But our main kid over here
guess.
can't hear anything.
Aren't those bells the most beautiful sound?
Now, due to budget cuts and team downsizing, even though they always seem to be advertising open positions on job websites, but sure, okay, the sleigh bells are in slight disrepair. One of them breaks off and lands in front of our little dude man, and he picks it up.
I believe. I believe.
Oh, Christmas is saved!
Bruh.
And so Santa kind of walks the line and talks to each kid for a little bit.
Keep up the good work. And Billy. It is Billy.
Oh yeah, sorry I haven't been to your house ever, kid. I planned my routes out based on children's parents' economic status, so, you know, maybe if your dad didn't drink so much, I'd finally make it one of these years. You know what I'm saying? And so finally it's time for finally make it one of these years.
that is
You know
it.
what I'm saying?
This movie seems so depressingly tone deaf for kids who don't get presents from Santa, you know?
And so finally it's time for Santa to hand out the first gift of Christmas, which is a big deal, apparently.
And speaking of gifts,
Let's have this young fellow right here.
What? No way. And so the main kid gets picked up and mercilessly dragged in front of the crowd, and it's time for him to fully believe in Santa, or whatever this movie's about. All right, kid, here's a June 1978 Hustler magazine and half a pack of Virginia Slims I found in my couch cushions. So Santa asks him what he wants for Christmas, and the kid tells him that he wants to keep the bell he found. And then Santa's like, you sure you don't want these Hooters gift cards? I got so many, kid. And so after all of this, the kids go back to the train while all the elves do the most emotionless, soulless dancing you've ever seen.
Come on. Come on, show us the bell.
Yeah, let's see the bell.
You don't got it.
And so, dejected, hating himself, cursing the heavens, our main character gets dropped off at his house and says goodbye to everyone, even the creepy, scary train conductor guy. And the next morning is Christmas. And after playing with whatever hellish monstrosity this is, he finds one last present under the tree.
It's the bell. Yeah, because it's like, nigga, you asked for the bell for Christmas. Why would you still have had it? He took that shit out your pocket again. Put it in. He took it out your pocket, wrapped it back up, and then moved it.
Played by Tom Hanks. And then the parents show up and are somehow not freaking out that there's this present under the tree that, like, no one put there. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the movie.
At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell. But as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me.
And that's more or less The Polar Express. Still a classic for whatever reason. I will say though, for how utterly terrifying this movie is, the music is phenomenal. I mean, sure, it's the same song rearranged about 400 times, but still, great music. The movie's like 80% filler, padding nonsense. Like, how could so many things happen in the span of 20 minutes? But I mean, it does have a magical whimsy quality to it that still kind of holds up. Except these kids, okay? Because this, this was a mistake. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please watch another one, because that's how the algorithm works. So click on this one that's being recommended to you right now, right here on the screen. It actually helps a lot if you do that.